Be me, John, 28-year-old marketing analyst at a tech firm. Been here for 3 years, busting my ass every single day. Usually first one in the office at 7 a.m., last one out around 7 p.m. Genuinely love what I do, always looking for ways to improve our campaigns. Work with this woman named Patricia. She's like 42 or something. Been with the company for 7 years. Oh boy, here we go. Patricia is, how do I put this delicately, exhausting. Not because she's a woman, not because she's older, because literally 50% of her day is spent talking about the patriarchy. The other 50% is split between actual work, maybe 20%, and extended breaks, 30%. I've done the math. I'm good at my job. First time I met Patricia was my second week. Seemed nice enough at first. Oh, another man in the department. What a surprise. Awkward laugh. Don't know how to respond. Just kidding, sweetie. But seriously, this company has a diversity problem. okface.jpg. Fast forward 3 years. Patricia has made it her personal mission to educate everyone about gender inequality, which, sure, fine, important topic, but maybe not for 4 hours during work time, Patricia. Every single Monday morning, without fail. Did you all see that article about the gender wage gap? Proceeds to spend 45 minutes discussing it in the break room. Meanwhile, I'm actually at my desk working on the Henderson account. Our boss, Margaret, yeah, a woman, that'll be important later, keeps giving Patricia these looks. The please shut up and do your job looks. Patricia doesn't notice or doesn't care. My typical day: arrive 7 a.m., check emails, prep reports, analyze data, create presentations. Patricia's typical day: arrive 9:15 a.m., flex time, she says, coffee break until 9:45, work until 10:30, discussion about feminism until 11:15, work until 12, lunch until 1:30, it's supposed to be 1 hour, work until 2, another break, work until 4, networking, complaining until 5, leave. I've literally timed this, I'm not exaggerating. She does maybe 3 to 4 hours of actual work daily, and the quality, oof. Last month, Patricia turned in a campaign proposal. 17 spelling errors, 2 broken links, formatting all messed up. Margaret sent it back 3 times for revisions. My proposals usually get approved first try. Not bragging, just facts. I actually give a shit about my work. Anyway, about 6 months ago, our senior analyst position opened up. Guy named Marcus retired. Good dude, taught me a lot. Both Patricia and I were obvious candidates. We're the 2 most experienced people in the department besides Margaret. Patricia immediately starts talking about how it's finally time for this. I've been here 7 years. I deserve this promotion. Notice she said deserve, not earned. Subtle difference, huge implications. She starts getting more vocal about gender issues, if that was even possible. You know, statistically, women have to work twice as hard to get promoted. She says this while taking her 3rd break of the day. I'm literally running a data analysis for a major client presentation. Don't even look up from my screen. Over the next 6 months, I go into overdrive. Not because I'm competing with Patricia specifically, but because I genuinely want this promotion. Senior analyst has been my goal since I started. I start coming in at 6:30 a.m., staying until 8 p.m. some nights. Weekends, I'm reading industry reports, learning new analytics software. Take 2 professional development courses online. My campaign success rate goes from 78% to 91%. I bring in 3 new clients through networking. Save the Williams account when they were about to leave. Patricia's account originally, she nearly lost it through neglect. Margaret notices, I can tell. She starts giving me more responsibilities, asking my opinion in meetings, having me present to upper management. Patricia notices too, her feminist talking points get more pointed. Isn't it interesting how young men get so many opportunities? The corporate ladder favors a certain demographic. I've been working on the Anderson campaign for months. She hasn't. She started it 2 weeks ago, and I've seen her touch it maybe 3 times. Meanwhile, I'm actually putting in the work. Not trying to be a martyr here, I just genuinely love this job. Love the challenge, love seeing campaigns succeed, love that moment when data reveals a pattern nobody else saw. I'm a nerd, whatever, sue me. Patricia, on the other hand, extended lunch breaks become even more extended. She's always having important discussions about workplace culture, which means standing in the break room complaining. I've heard her entire speech about the patriarchy at least 50 times. Could probably recite it myself at this point. One time, our coworker Lisa, female, relevant, pulls me aside. John, does Patricia ever actually work? I've been here 6 months and I've never seen her complete a full project. I just shrug, not going to throw anyone under the bus. Everyone has their own process. Lisa rolls her eyes. Your process involves actually working. Hers involves complaining about people who work. Lisa gets it. About 2 weeks ago, Margaret calls me into her office. Oh shit, this is it. John, I want to talk to you about the senior analyst position. Heart is literally pounding. You've shown exceptional dedication and your results speak for themselves. Your campaign performance is the highest in the department, your client retention is outstanding, and your work ethic is exactly what we need in a leadership role. Trying not to smile like an idiot. I'm recommending you for the promotion. HR needs to approve it, but it should be announced by Friday. Yes, keep it professional though. Thank you so much, Margaret. I really appreciate the opportunity. You've earned it, John. Truly. She pauses. I want to give you a heads up, though. Patricia will not take this well. Understatement of the century incoming, I'm sure. I've tried to give her feedback about her performance, but she always deflects to discussions about gender bias. Her work quality has declined over the past 2 years, and her time management is problematic. Margaret looks tired. I say this as a woman who has fought against actual discrimination in my career. Patricia doesn't have a work ethic problem because of sexism. She has a work ethic problem because she doesn't prioritize her work. Damn, Margaret. Just be prepared on Friday. I'm announcing it at the team meeting. Friday comes. I've barely slept. Excited, nervous, also dreading Patricia's reaction. Arrive at 6:45 a.m. as usual. Patricia rolls in at 9:20 a.m. She's wearing what I assume she thinks is a power outfit. Guess she thinks today's the day she gets promoted. Oh, Patricia, no. Team meeting is at 10 a.m. Everyone gathers in the conference room. Our department is like 12 people. Patricia, me, Lisa, Jennifer, Aaron, Mike, Tom, Rebecca, Sandra, Kevin, and 2 newer people whose names I always forget. Sorry. Margaret stands at the head of the table. Good morning, everyone. I have an exciting announcement. Patricia literally sits up straighter. She's smiling. Oh God, this is going to be so bad. As you know, we've been considering candidates for the senior analyst position. This was not an easy decision as we have talented people in this department. Patricia nods, like, yes, me, I'm talented. However, one person has consistently demonstrated exceptional performance, dedication, and leadership qualities. I'm trying to look neutral, don't want to seem cocky. I'm pleased to announce that John will be our new senior analyst, effective next Monday. The room erupts in applause. Lisa is grinning at me, thumbs up. Aaron reaches over to shake my hand. Jennifer mouths congratulations. And then there's Patricia. Oh my God, Patricia's face. It's like watching a tomato have an existential crisis. Red doesn't even begin to describe it. She's gone from pale to crimson in approximately 2.5 seconds. The clapping dies down. Everyone's starting to notice Patricia's reaction. She's literally trembling, hands gripping the table, knuckles white. Congratulations, John, Margaret continues. Your hard work has... What? Patricia's voice could shatter glass. Everyone freezes. Margaret stops mid-sentence. Patricia, I understand you're disappointed, but... Disappointed? I'm beyond disappointed. She's standing now. Full standing, chair screeching back. I have been here for 7 years. 7 years. She's jabbing her finger in the air with each word. And you're giving the promotion to him? The him is said with such venom. I'm just sitting there, frozen. What do I even do right now? Patricia, please sit down and we can discuss this privately. Margaret tries. No. We're discussing this right here, right now. Oh boy, here we go. This is exactly what I've been talking about for years. The patriarchy, the boys' club, the systematic discrimination against women in the workplace. She's literally yelling now. People from other departments are looking through the glass walls of the conference room. Lisa looks horrified. Aaron is staring at his notebook like it's the most interesting thing in the world. Mike has his hand over his mouth. Patricia, your gender had nothing to do with this decision, Margaret says firmly. She's trying to stay calm, but I can see her jaw clenching. Bullshit. Did Patricia just drop an F-bomb in a professional meeting? Yes, she did. Complete bullshit, Margaret. I have more experience. I've been here longer. The only reason John got this promotion is because he's a man. Okay, now I'm getting a little pissed. I've worked my ass off, but I stay quiet. Margaret's handling this. Patricia, that's not true, and you know it, Margaret says. Her voice is getting that sharp edge. John's performance metrics are higher. His client retention is better. His work quality is consistently excellent, and he puts in significantly more hours than you do. Oh, shit. Margaret just went there. Patricia's eyes are bulging, literally bulging. More hours? You're penalizing me for having work-life balance? That's a feminist issue right there. Women are expected to sacrifice everything for their careers while men get promoted for basic tasks. Basic tasks? I've been here 10 to 12 hours a day for 6 months. Lisa can't help herself. Patricia, John stays here later than anyone and his work is really good. Oh, so now you're defending the patriarchy. Lisa. Patricia turns on Lisa like a snake. Internalized misogyny. That's what this is. You've been brainwashed by the system. Lisa's mouth falls open. What? I just said he works hard. That's the narrative they want you to believe. Patricia is fully screaming now. Her face is so red, I'm genuinely worried about her blood pressure. Women's work is always devalued. Always. We work twice as hard and get half the recognition. Jennifer quietly. But do you, though? Work twice as hard. Oh, Jennifer just threw gasoline on the fire. Patricia's head whips around so fast. What did you just say to me? Jennifer, to her credit, doesn't back down. I'm just saying, John is here before any of us and leaves after we're all gone. And your lunch breaks are like really long every day. That's because I'm having important conversations about workplace equality. In the break room? For 2 hours? Tom chimes in. Oh no, the whole room is turning on her. Not because she's a woman, but because everyone's been thinking this for years. You're all part of the problem, Patricia screams. She's gesturing wildly now. Knocks over a cup of coffee. Doesn't even notice. This is why feminism is needed. This right here. A qualified woman being passed over for a less experienced man who gets praised for doing the bare minimum. Margaret slams her hand on the table. Everyone shuts up. Patricia, my office. Now. No. Did she just refuse a direct order? No, Margaret, I'm not going anywhere. This needs to be addressed publicly since you made this announcement publicly. The announcement was a celebration of John's promotion. Your reaction is turning it into something else entirely, Margaret says coldly. Because it is something else. It's discrimination. She turns to me directly. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. You, John. I look up, trying to stay calm. What makes you think you deserve this more than me? Everyone's looking at me. I take a breath. Patricia, I don't want to. Answer the question. What makes you so special? Okay. Gloves off, I guess. I get here at 6:30 every morning. I stay until at least 7 p.m. most nights. I've completed 47 campaigns this year with a 91% success rate. I brought in 3 new clients. I saved the Williams account. I've taken 2 professional development courses on my own time. My work gets approved on the first submission 94% of the time. I do my job, Patricia. The room is dead silent. Patricia's face goes through several emotions: shock, anger, more anger, rage, then something almost like realization, but then back to rage. So what? So what? Working long hours doesn't mean quality. It means you're inefficient. Grasping at straws now. You have to stay late because you can't get your work done during normal hours. That's not dedication. That's poor time management. Rebecca speaks up. Patricia, he completes more projects than you in those hours. Like, significantly more. The quality of my work is excellent. You had to revise the Henderson proposal 4 times last month, Aaron says quietly, because Margaret has unrealistic standards for women. Margaret's eye twitches. I have the same standards for everyone, Patricia. John's work rarely needs revisions because he takes his time and does it right the first time. While I'm juggling multiple responsibilities. Like what? Mike asks, genuinely curious, not even snarky. Like educating people about workplace inequality, like being a voice for women in this department, like emotional labor that men never have to do. That's not your job, though, Lisa says. Are you kidding me right now, Lisa? Are you kidding me? Patricia grabs her portfolio off the table. I think she's about to leave. Nope. She throws it. Literally throws it. Papers everywhere. 7 years. I have given 7 years to this company. I have fought against discrimination. I have advocated for women's rights. I have tried to make this a better workplace for everyone. And this is how I'm repaid? By being passed over for some golden boy who stays late to kiss ass. Now I'm actually mad. I stand up. Patricia, I've never kissed anyone's ass. I do good work because I care about my job. Oh, how noble, she shrieks, literally shrieks. The humble hard worker, the dedicated employee, while I'm the villain for daring to have opinions about gender equality. No, you're the villain for not doing your job, Jennifer says flatly. Damn, Jennifer. Patricia looks like she's been slapped. How dare you? It's true, though, Tom says. We've all noticed. You spend hours every day talking instead of working. Your projects are always late. You take 2-hour lunches. You leave at 5 p.m. sharp every day while the rest of us are still working. Work-life balance, Patricia screams. That's healthy. Just because John has no life outside of work doesn't mean I have a life, I interrupt. Calm, steady. I go to the gym 4 days a week. I see my family on Sundays. I date. I have hobbies. I just also prioritize my career because it's important to me. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. Patricia is breathing hard. Looks like she might cry or explode or both. This is illegal, she says suddenly, voice shaking. This is gender discrimination, and I'm reporting it to HR. Please do, Margaret says. Ice cold. I have documentation of every performance review, every missed deadline, every complaint about your work quality and attendance issues. I also have documentation of John's exceptional performance. I welcome HR's involvement. Oh, damn, Margaret came prepared. Patricia's mouth opens and closes. No sound comes out. She's realizing Margaret has receipts. I also have, Margaret continues, emails from clients praising John's work. I have the time log showing his hours. I have his project completion rates. I have everything I need to justify this decision. What do you have, Patricia? Margaret with the knockout punch. Patricia's eyes are watering now. I have loyalty. I've been here 7 years. Yes, you've mentioned that. Margaret interrupts. Tenure alone doesn't earn promotions. Performance does. Results do. Dedication does. John has all of those things. And what do I have? Nothing. My work means nothing. Your work would mean something if you did more of it, Margaret says bluntly. I've never heard Margaret be this direct. She's had it with Patricia. We all have, honestly. Patricia stands there, trembling. Mascara starting to run. Everyone's staring. People from other departments are definitely watching through the glass walls now. This is the most entertainment this office has seen in years. You're all against me, Patricia says, voice breaking. Every single one of you, because I dared to speak up, because I dared to challenge the status quo. No, Lisa says gently. We're not against you because you spoke up. We're just... Patricia, you don't do your work. That's the issue. Just that. Internalized misogyny! Patricia screams again, back to yelling. The tears are flowing, but she's still raging. All of you, you've been brainwashed. You think if you work hard enough, if you play by their rules, you'll be rewarded. But the system is rigged. It's rigged against women, against anyone who challenges it. I challenged it, and now I'm being punished. You're not being punished, I say quietly. You just didn't get a promotion you didn't earn. Probably shouldn't have said that. Patricia's head turns toward me in slow motion, like a horror movie. Didn't earn, whispered. Oh shit. Didn't earn. There's the yell. I have a master's degree. I have 7 years of experience. I have knowledge and expertise that you couldn't even dream of. Then why aren't your results better? Margaret asks. Simple question, devastating effect. Patricia's face crumples. The reality is hitting her. She didn't get the promotion because she didn't deserve it. Not because of sexism, not because of the patriarchy, because she doesn't do her job well. I can't work in this environment anymore, she says, voice hollow. I can't work somewhere that doesn't value me, that doesn't respect me. Patricia, Margaret starts. No, I'm done. I'm done with all of you. She grabs her phone from the table, starts walking toward the door, turns back, points at me. You, enjoy your promotion. Enjoy being the poster boy for mediocrity, rewarded by a broken system. I hope you choke on it. Whoa, harsh. She looks at Margaret. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. This is discrimination, and I will not let it stand. My door is open when you're ready to have a rational conversation, Margaret says calmly. Rational? You want rational? Patricia laughs. It's unhinged, actually scary. There's nothing rational about this. Nothing. She storms out, slams the conference room door so hard the glass shakes. Everyone watches her grab her purse from her desk. Storm through the office, slam the main door, gone. Silence in the conference room. Literally could hear a pin drop. Kevin, one of the quiet guys, breaks the silence. Well, that was fucking insane. Nervous laughter ripples through the room. Margaret sighs deeply, rubs her temples. I apologize that you all had to witness that. This should have been handled differently. Not your fault, Rebecca says. She lost it. Completely lost it, Aaron agrees. Margaret looks at me. John, I'm sorry your promotion announcement was overshadowed by that. It's okay, I say, still kind of in shock. Are you okay? Lisa asks me. Yeah, I didn't expect that level of reaction. Dude, we all expected something, Mike says, but that was next level. That was nuclear. Jennifer nods. I thought she might be upset, but the screaming, the throwing things, calling you mediocre, that was so out of line. Do you think she'll actually sue? Tom asks Margaret. Margaret shrugs. She can try. She won't win. I have years of documentation showing her declining performance and poor work habits. I also have years of documentation showing John's exemplary performance. She looks tired. I've been trying to help Patricia improve for 2 years. Every conversation turns into a lecture about gender politics. I gave up trying 6 months ago. Why didn't you fire her? Aaron asks. Honestly, I was afraid of exactly this. The accusations of discrimination. It's easier to just manage around her. Margaret shakes her head. But that's not fair to the rest of you who are actually working hard. Something needs to change. The meeting wraps up shortly after. People come up to congratulate me individually. Everyone's still kind of shell-shocked. I go back to my desk, try to process what just happened. My phone buzzes. Text from Lisa. Congrats on the promotion. Sorry, Patricia's insane. Text from Jennifer. You deserved it. Don't let her make you feel bad. Text from my mom. How did the announcement go? Oh boy, Mom, do I have a story for you. Spend the rest of the day in a daze. People from other departments keep stopping by. Dude, we heard Patricia freaked out. Is it true she threw her portfolio? Someone said she called you mediocre. News travels fast in an office. Around 3 p.m., Margaret calls me into her office again. How are you holding up? I'm okay. Just wasn't expecting that. I should have warned you more seriously. I knew she'd be upset, but I didn't think she'd have a complete meltdown. Margaret hands me a folder. This is for you. Your new responsibilities, salary information, start date as senior analyst. I open it. Holy shit. That's a nice raise. You earned this, John. Don't let Patricia's delusions make you think otherwise. Thank you, Margaret. She emailed HR already, by the way, filed a formal complaint about gender discrimination. Of course she did. HR wants to interview you next week. Just be honest about your work habits and performance. The documentation speaks for itself. The next few days are weird. Patricia doesn't come back to the office. Emails and sick Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Thursday, there are rumors she's looking for a lawyer. By Friday, rumor is she's job hunting. The office is honestly more productive without her constant commentary. Lisa mentions it at lunch. Is it terrible that I'm relieved she's not here? It's so much quieter. I don't miss the daily lectures about the patriarchy, Jennifer agrees. I just miss the drama, Mike jokes. That was better than reality TV. HR interview happens the following Tuesday. I walk in nervous. It's Helen from HR and some guy from corporate. John, thanks for coming in. We're investigating Patricia's complaint of gender discrimination in the promotion decision. We just want to hear your perspective. I explain everything. My work hours, my project completion rate, my dedication. They ask about Patricia's performance. I'm careful here, don't want to sound vindictive. I can only speak to what I observed. Patricia seemed to spend a lot of time on non-work-related discussions. Her projects often needed multiple revisions. She took extended breaks. But those are just my observations. Helen nods, taking notes. Did you ever feel that Margaret favored you because of your gender? No. Margaret is extremely fair. She's given me feedback when my work wasn't good enough and praise when it was, same as she does with everyone. The corporate guy speaks up. Patricia claims you were given preferential treatment, including better clients and more opportunities to present to management. I was given those opportunities after proving myself. Margaret started giving me more responsibility about a year ago after I successfully handled the Williams account crisis. That was Patricia's account originally. She had nearly lost them through missed deadlines and poor communication. I stepped in and saved the relationship. After that, Margaret gave me more high-profile work, but I had to earn that trust first. More questions, more honest answers. Interview lasts about 45 minutes. Thank you, John. We'll be in touch. 2 weeks later, official email from HR. After thorough investigation, including review of performance records, time logs, project completion rates, client feedback, and interviews with relevant parties, we have found no evidence of gender discrimination in the promotion decision. The decision was made based solely on merit and performance. Patricia emails her resignation the same day. Subject line, hostile work environment. Body of email is 3 paragraphs about the patriarchy, systemic discrimination, and her refusal to work for a company that doesn't value women. Margaret forwards it to the team with 1 line. Patricia has resigned, effective immediately. Please join me in wishing her well in her future endeavors. Lisa replies all, thumbs up. I start my new role as senior analyst the following Monday. It's everything I hoped it would be. More responsibility, better projects, leadership opportunities. The team is supportive and collaborative. Without Patricia's constant negativity, morale actually improves. We get more work done. People seem happier. 3 months later, Patricia posts on LinkedIn. Excited to announce I've joined as a senior diversity and inclusion consultant. Looking forward to fighting workplace discrimination and advocating for gender equality. Lisa sends it to our group chat. She found her calling. Jennifer, a job where complaining is the job. Perfect fit. Mike, think she'll actually work or just talk about working? Me, not our problem anymore. 6 months into my new role. Our department has exceeded targets 3 quarters in a row. I've hired 2 new people, 1 man, 1 woman, both fantastic. Margaret pulls me aside after a successful client presentation. You know, John, I had my doubts about promoting someone so young, not because of your ability, but because of the potential drama with Patricia. I'm glad I went with my gut. You've exceeded every expectation. Thank you, Margaret. That means a lot. The team respects you. Your work is excellent. And you lead by example. First one in, last one out. But you also encourage work-life balance for others. That's the kind of leader this department needs. Feels good, man. Really good. 1 year later, I get promoted again. Department manager, Margaret is moving to VP. She recommended me for her position. This time, no drama. Just a team celebration and genuine congratulations. Sometimes I wonder what Patricia is doing, if she's happy as a diversity consultant, if she ever realized her meltdown was about her own shortcomings, not discrimination. Probably not. Some people never learn. They'd rather blame the system than look in the mirror. But that's not my problem anymore. I'm too busy actually working, earning my success. 1 early morning and late night at a time. The way it should be, the way it always should have been. Merit over seniority, results over rhetoric, work ethic over victimhood. And honestly, life's pretty good when you just focus on doing your job well. Imagine that feeling when you realize the real patriarchy was the work we did along the way, or something. Anyway, that's the story of how Patricia lost her mind over a promotion she didn't deserve, and how I learned that sometimes the best response to drama is just consistently good work. The end. Just kidding, I got a girlfriend. She thinks the Patricia story is hilarious. Life is good. Be me. Brenda, 32, senior project manager at a tech company. Not a coder, but I speak the language. Majored in communications, minored in gender studies. My real talent is managing people and shaping narratives. I'm passionate, driven, and I believe in making the world a better, more equitable place. It is a decent place to work. Mid-sized B2B software solutions. We make a very unsexy but very profitable logistics and inventory management suite called Logistics. The pay is good, the benefits are solid. The culture is, well, it's a tech culture. Walk onto the main development floor and it's a sea of hoodies, nerdy t-shirts, and headphones. And let's be honest, it's mostly dudes. There's Dave, the database guru. Mid-40s, looks like he hasn't seen the sun since dial-up was a thing. Socially awkward, lives on a diet of stale pizza and energy drinks. But the man is a wizard. He designed the core architecture of logistics a decade ago, and his knowledge is encyclopedic. He can debug a catastrophic failure by just sort of sniffing the air. There's Kevin, the front-end maestro. Young guy, obsessed with minimalist UI and obscure JavaScript frameworks. He can make a user interface so intuitive a chimp could manage a global supply chain with it. And then there's Raj, the back-end juggernaut. Quiet, methodical, writes code that is so clean and efficient it's practically art. He handles the server-side logic, the APIs, the stuff that makes everything actually work. These guys, and a dozen others like them, are the engine of the company. They're not always the most socially graceful, and their jokes can be cringe, but they build, maintain, and innovate the product that pays all our salaries. I manage their projects. I translate their technobabble into client-friendly timelines. I run interference, I schedule meetings, I make sure the ship is pointed in the right direction, but something has been bothering me. It's the sheer, overwhelming maleness of it all. I'm one of only 3 women in a department of 30. The other 2 are in QA and junior support. It feels wrong, unbalanced. I read the articles, I see the statistics. Tech has a problem, and I'm living in the middle of it. One weekend, the company sends me to the Women in Tech Forward conference in San Francisco. It's a revelation. The air is electric with empowerment. Every speaker is a visionary. Every panel is a call to action. I hear stories of struggle, of being talked over in meetings, of having code scrutinized more harshly than male colleagues. I hear about the leaky pipeline, where women are driven out of the industry by toxic bro cultures. I learn new terms. Not just patriarchy, but kyriarchy. Not just mansplaining, but hip-eating. A keynote speaker, a charismatic CEO of a WOMXN-focused startup, says something that hits me like a thunderbolt. "We don't just need to invite women to the table," she declares, her voice ringing through the auditorium. "We need to build a whole new table. A table by women for women. We cannot fix the master's house with the master's tools." The crowd goes wild. I'm on my feet, applauding until my hands are raw. This is it. This is the answer. The flight back to dreary old Ohio is a blur of furious note-taking and strategic planning. The problem isn't just that we don't have enough women. The problem is the men, their culture, their ingrained biases, their way of thinking. It's the master's house. It's inherently exclusionary. You can't just add a few women and stir. You have to change the fundamental ingredients. My idea starts to form, radical and beautiful in its simplicity. We don't just need to hire more women. We need to hire only women. A female-led, female-staffed development team. A safe space for innovation, free from the oppressive dynamics of the patriarchy. A beacon of progress. A new table. Monday morning, I march into the office of our CEO, Greg. Greg is Greg. A nice enough guy in his early 50s, a business major who inherited the company from his father. He's more comfortable with spreadsheets than with social justice, but he's terrified of bad PR. He wants the company to be seen as modern, progressive, a top 100 place to work. I lay it all out for him. I use the language I learned at the conference. "Greg, we have a systemic problem," I begin, my voice filled with passion. "Our development floor is a monoculture. It stifles innovation and creates a hostile environment for diverse talent." He nods slowly, stroking his chin. "I know, Brenda. We've been trying to improve our diversity numbers. It's tough. The pipeline isn't the problem," I interrupt, leaning forward. "The house is the problem. We need to build a new wing, a pilot program, a new development team for a new product initiative, and we staff it entirely with women." Greg's eyes widen. "Entirely? Is that legal?" "It's a targeted hiring initiative to correct a historic imbalance," I say, using the precise phrasing from a conference pamphlet. "It's not discriminatory. It's reparative. Think of the message it sends. Think of the headlines. This company launches groundbreaking female-led tech incubator. We'd be heroes. We'd attract top female talent from all over the country." I can see the gears turning in his head. He's picturing the Forbes article, the local news segment, the LinkedIn posts from industry influencers praising his courage. "A whole team," he murmurs. "Who would we get? It's hard enough to find senior developers as it is." "We have to change our metrics for what talent looks like," I counter. "We can't rely on the same biased credentials that have upheld the patriarchy for decades. We look for passion, for collaborative spirit, for diverse perspectives. We can train for specific skills. We're not just hiring coders, we're building a community." I talk for another 20 minutes. I paint a picture of a vibrant, creative, collaborative utopia. A team that communicates, that supports each other, that solves problems with empathy and ingenuity. By the end, he's sold. He's not just convinced, he's excited. "All right, Brenda," he says, a grin spreading across his face. "Let's do it. You're in charge. Build your team. This is going to be huge." I walk out triumphant, GIF. Phase 1 is complete. The Phoenix Project is born. That's what I call it. Rising from the ashes of the old ways, we get a budget, we get a section of the office, which we immediately redecorate with inspirational posters and succulents. No more drab gray cubicles. Now, the hiring begins. I'm in charge of the entire process. The resumes pour in. It's true there aren't many with 10 years of C++ experience, but I'm looking for other things. A A resume from a woman named Chloe catches my eye. Not much tech experience, but she ran a hugely successful social media campaign for a nonprofit. She's a digital native and a master communicator. Perfect. She'll be great for community management and front-end feedback. Then there's Madison. She has a certificate from a 12-week Code Her bootcamp. The portfolio is a little thin, a to-do list app and a clone of the game Pong, but her cover letter is a masterpiece. It's a fiery manifesto about breaking barriers and her desire to build technology that empowers women. She has passion. She's in. We'll call her a junior full-stack developer. Avery is a recent computer science graduate. She's shy and seems a bit overwhelmed, but she's technically proficient on paper. She's a good get. We need someone who actually knows what a pointer is. One by one, I build my team. I hire a woman who minored in art history to be our UI UX designer because she has a unique aesthetic sensibility. I hire a project manager whose main qualification is that she organized a series of feminist poetry slams. The old guard, the logistics team, watches all of this with a mixture of confusion and amusement. I hear them muttering by the coffee machine. Did you see the new hires GitHub? It's just forks of other people's tutorials, I overhear Kevin say. I tried to ask one of them about our database schema, and she looked at me like I had 3 heads, Dave grumbles. I call a meeting with their manager. I explain that their team's attitude is creating a chilly climate for the Phoenix project. I use the phrase unconscious bias and gatekeeping. Their manager, a guy named Bill who just wants to avoid conflict, promises to have a word. The result is that the logistics team just stops talking to us altogether. They keep their heads down, headphones on, and churn out code for the main product. A wall of silence builds between our 2 sections of the office. It doesn't matter. We don't need them. We are the future. Our first project is to build a wellness and menstrual cycle tracking app for a new corporate client. It's called FemFlow. The kickoff meeting is amazing. We sit in a circle. We don't have a leader. We have a facilitator. We talk about our feelings, our hopes for the project, our personal connections to the concept. It's collaborative and supportive. Then we try to actually plan the work. The problems start immediately. Avery, our one actual CS grad, tries to explain the need for a robust back-end architecture. We'll need to decide on a database solution, she says quietly, SQL or no SQL. And we need to think about API security, especially with sensitive health data. Madison, the bootcamp grad, scoffs. Let's not get bogged down in technical jargon. We should be agile. Let's just start building the front end in React and connect it to Firebase. It's super easy. Chloe, the social media guru, agrees. Yes, I have so many ideas for the UI. We need color palettes that reflect the divine feminine, and we should have a feature where you can share your cycle data with your moon sisters. Avery tries to interject. But sharing health data has huge privacy implications. We need to encrypt everything end to end. Firebase might not be the best for that. Avery, you're focusing on problems, not solutions, I say gently. We need to maintain a positive, can-do attitude. Let's trust Madison's expertise in agile development. Avery shrinks back in her chair and says no more. The pattern is set. We spend 2 weeks designing the logo and arguing about the perfect shade of lavender for the main button. When we finally start coding, it's chaos. Madison and 2 other bootcamp grads start building React components, but none of them know how to use version control properly. They keep overwriting each other's work. Getgud.txt is not on the curriculum. The code they produce is a mess of copy-pasted snippets from Stack Overflow and tutorial blogs. There are no comments. The variable names are things like thingy and datablob. The app is slow. It crashes if you look at it wrong. The Moon Sisters sharing feature, when they finally hack it together, broadcasts user data in plain text. It's not a bug. It's a feature that would get us sued into oblivion. We miss our first deadline, then our second. The client is getting antsy. I call a team meeting. What's the problem? I ask. The problem is that we're working with tools created by men for men, Chloe announces. The whole structure of programming is linear, logical, patriarchal. We need a more intuitive, holistic way to code. Everyone nods sagely. This sounds much better than, we don't know what we're doing. I go to Greg, the CEO. I explain that the team is hitting roadblocks due to the technical debt and poorly designed systems left behind by the previous male-dominated culture. We need more time and resources to build our own tools from the ground up. Greg, who still loves the PR, agrees. He gives us an extension. Meanwhile, things are starting to go wrong on the logistics side of the building. A few of the key guys have left. Kevin, the front-end genius, got a better offer from a startup. Another senior engineer retired. Their replacements are okay. But they're not wizards. One afternoon, the entire logistics system goes down. Complete outage. Every single one of our clients, from small warehouses to multinational corporations, can't manage their inventory. The phone lines light up. The support desk is in meltdown. Dave, the database guru, is on vacation. He's on a cruise in the Caribbean, completely unreachable. The remaining logistics team scrambles. They're in the war room, staring at scrolling error logs. They've been at it for hours, but they're lost. Dave's architecture is a labyrinth, and he was the only one with the map. Raj, the back-end juggernaut, is doing his best, but the problem is deep in the database layer. Dave's sanctum sanctorum. After 8 hours of downtime, Greg is sweating bullets. We're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour. Our biggest client is threatening to break their contract. He storms into the Phoenix project area. I need all hands on deck. Brenda, get your team in here. We need everyone looking at this. I lead my team into the war room. It's like stepping into another world. The air is thick with tension and the smell of stale coffee. The logistics guys look at us with desperation. Any of you know PL sequel? Raj asks, his eyes bloodshot. My team stares back blankly. Madison whispers to me, is that like a prequel to sequel? I try to take charge. Okay, team, I say in my most encouraging project manager voice. Let's deconstruct the problem. What is the emotional core of this crisis? Raj just stares at me. The emotional core is that a corrupted data index is preventing the primary transaction table from mounting. We're losing data, and we can't find the backup. Okay, Chloe says, stepping forward. Let's visualize success. Let's all close our eyes and manifest a solution. I swear I see one of the logistics engineers' mouths. What the fuck? We are useless. Worse than useless. We are a distraction. We stand around, offering suggestions like, have you tried turning it off and on again? And maybe the server just needs a safe space to process its errors. After 14 hours, they finally find the problem. A junior engineer on the logistics team had run a script that accidentally dropped a critical index. It was a stupid mistake, one that Dave would have caught in a heartbeat. The system comes back online, but the damage is done. We lost a major client. Our reputation is in tatters. Greg calls me into his office the next day. The PR glow is gone. He looks old and tired. Brenda, he says, the Phoenix project is being put on indefinite hold. FemFlow is canceled. Your team, they'll be reassigned to documentation and QA for the logistics product. It's a demotion, a public humiliation. You don't understand, I plead. We were on the verge of a breakthrough. This is just a setback. It's the old culture's fault. No, Brenda, he says, his voice flat. It's not. I made a mistake. I listened to a sales pitch instead of looking at the reality. We need people who can do the job. That's it. That's all that matters. My team is devastated. They are assigned to writing user manuals and testing button colors on the logistics UI. The fire is gone from their eyes. The dream is dead. The wall of silence between us and the logistics team becomes a wall of quiet, pitying contempt. But I'm not done. I'm a fighter. This is just another obstacle. The patriarchy is pushing back, trying to protect its power. I start a blog, Diary of a Feminist Coder. I write long, impassioned posts about our struggle. I don't mention our technical failures. Instead, I frame it as a story of sabotage. We were a threat to the established order, and they couldn't handle it, I write. Our collaborative, holistic approach was too radical. They shut us down, fearing the change we represented. The blog gets some traction in certain online circles. I get messages of support. I feel a flicker of my old fire. I'm still a revolutionary. Meanwhile, the company continues its slow-motion decline. Dave comes back from his cruise, fixes the lingering database issues, and then promptly hands in his resignation. He's had enough. He's going to a competitor for a 50% raise. Raj leaves a month later. The core of the company is gone. The logistics product, once a bastion of reliability, becomes buggy and slow. The new hires can't keep up with the technical debt. They're just patching holes in a sinking ship. More clients leave. There are layoffs. The atmosphere in the office is a funeral dirge. Then comes the day of the great collapse. It starts with a weird error message from a single client, then another, then a dozen. Within an hour, the entire logistics platform is throwing fatal errors. The database is completely unresponsive. It's not just down, it's gone. This is it, the big one, the extinction level event. Greg calls an emergency meeting. What's left of the logistics team is in full-blown panic. No one has any idea what's happening. It's a failure on a scale they can't even comprehend. My own team is huddled in our corner, trying to look busy writing documentation for features that no longer exist. I'm sitting at my desk, my heart pounding in my chest. This is it. This is the final failure of the old guard. When the dust settles, my vision will be vindicated. We will rise from the ashes. Then one of the remaining senior guys, a man named Mark, lets out a gasp. Oh my God, he whispers, his face pale. It's the Phoenix Code. I feel a cold dread creep up my spine. What are you talking about? The documentation module, he says, his voice trembling. The one Brenda's team was working on. We integrated it into the main branch last week. He points to a line of code on the screen. It's a function written by Madison, the bootcamp grad. I remember her being so proud of it. It was supposed to sanitize user input for the help docs. This function, Mark says, his voice barely audible, it doesn't sanitize anything. It's a SQL injection vulnerability so wide you could drive a truck through it. And it's connected to the root user input field. He types a few commands. Someone found it. They ran a drop database command. It's all gone. The main database, the backups, everything. They wiped us out. The room goes silent. The only sound is the hum of the servers. Everyone turns and looks at me, not with anger, not with hatred, with a kind of hollow, empty finality. It was us. It was my team. It was my project, my vision. My safe space had created a vulnerability that had just destroyed the entire company. My holistic approach had missed the one single detail that mattered. Greg just looks at me, his face a mask of utter defeat. He doesn't even have the energy to fire me. He just turns and walks back to his office to call the lawyers. I look at my team. Chloe is crying silently into her hands. Madison is staring at the screen, whispering, "No, no, no." Avery is just sitting perfectly still, catatonic. The weight of it all hits me. The lost jobs, the destroyed company, the years of work turned to digital dust. I didn't build a new table. I just burned the whole house down. In a daze, I pull out my phone. My fingers shake as I scroll through my contacts. I find his name, Dave. I have to know. I have to hear it from the wizard himself. I press call. It rings twice. He picks up. Hello? His voice is calm, relaxed. I hear birds chirping in the background. Dave, I stammer. It's Brenda. Brenda, he says. There's no surprise in his voice. I heard. It's all over the industry chat boards. I'm sorry. Can it be fixed? I whisper, my voice cracking. Is there anything, a ghost in the machine, a secret backup you hid somewhere? I hear him sigh, a deep, weary sound. No, Brenda, there's no magic fix. You can't undrop a database that has no backups. You know I told you guys for months that your code wasn't ready for production. I saw that injection vulnerability in the first code review. I flagged it. I wrote a 3-page report on why it was catastrophic. I vaguely remember the email. I'd dismissed it as mansplaining and unconstructive feedback. I'd told Madison to ignore it, to trust her instincts. You didn't just fire the people who could do the work, Dave says, his voice devoid of malice, just filled with a sad clinical truth. You created a culture where being competent was seen as an attack. You told everyone that passion was more important than skill. This was always going to happen. This is the end result of your philosophy. I can't breathe. He's not yelling. He's not gloating. He's just telling me the truth. I start, but I don't know what to say. Good luck, Brenda, he says, and hangs up. I'm left alone in the silent, dead war room. The screens are all red. The alerts have finally stopped, because there's nothing left to monitor. I open my blog, Diary of a Feminist Coder. I read my last post, written just yesterday. They will see. One day, they will all see. MFW. I look around the ruins of my career, my company, and my ideology. MFW, I realized the master's tools were called tools for a reason. MFW, I destroyed a multi-million-dollar company and the livelihoods of 50 people to prove a point, and the point was that I was a complete and utter idiot.